Come to the boiling ring once again. And of course, it's yours truly, Zed Agubata and
Stink me now.
Stink Mina in the building. Round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, yeah, Israel Adesanya versus Sean Strickland, bro. What do you see playing out?
I think that's a clear area Adesanya win. Like, who is on Strickland in the first place? Like, is he a real MMA fighter?
He's a real MMA
He's
fighter,
a real
yes.
UFC fighter.
Yes, a real
Wow,
UFC
I've not heard of him, so I don't like. But I've seen Israel Adesanya, and I
Okay.
know that it's basically Israel's decision on how the fight wants to go. Either he will go for the knockout or he will just appoint him as usual. I don't think Sean Strickland doing anything meaningful in that fight. Was he the one supposed to fight Israel Adesanya in the first
He
place?
was Dricus Duplessis. They went into the octagon after Dricus beat, Whitaker, and then Israel got into the octagon, said what he said. So they were supposed to fight next, but then Dricus turned up with an injury, I think 2 weeks before the press conference for that fight was supposed to hold. So
Okay.
it became a situation where they were looking for an opponent.
Okay.
So since Adesanya has already lapped the division like twice, he has beat everybody
I think he has beat
almost,
everybody twice, I think.
so the only logical option was Sean Strickland, whom he hasn't fought yet. But remember, Sean Strickland got knocked out by Alex Pereira, right? So now that Israel Adesanya is going up against Alex Pereira, I'm sorry, against Sean Strickland, I think that what people will be watching out for is how quick Israel would dispatch Sean Strickland, because that there's a storyline going into this fight, right? And the storyline is Alex Pereira has moved up in weight to 205 and beat Jan Blakovic, the only guy that beat Israel Adesanya before Alex Pereira came back to the as he came into the UFC to beat Israel Adesanya. So Alex has beat the guy that beat Israel, and now Israel is going up against a guy that Alex has already beat. So it's more or less like the Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Robert Helenius situation where
How
Deontay
fast?
Wilder
How fast
knocked
can
out
you get
Robert
him out?
Helenius. Yes,
How fast can you get
can
him
you
out?
get him out of the ring? So personally, to be very honest, I've tried in the past 1 week to figure out a way where Sean Strickland wins. And the only way I can think of is maybe by a lucky punch, like what Leon Edwards did against Usman. Just a lucky punch. That's the only way, because coming in, he's very reckless. And Israel Adesanya fights those kind of guys all day, every day long. I'm also of the opinion that Israel only lost the first fight against Alex Pereira in the UFC because he went there to kickbox with the kickboxer. You understand? Even though the second time around he got it done, but if you look at the fight John Jones had with Cyril Gane, where John Jones basically didn't want anything to do with stand up, he took it to the ground and ended it fast. So Sean Strickland, I don't know. I don't know. I cannot see any logical way for him to win if not by just a lucky punch, like I said.
Like you said, if he's indeed a reckless fighter, then that's easy work for Adesanya because Adesanya is one of the most calculated fighters in UFC right now.
Yeah.
If Sonjeta is going to come in with a reckless swing, I think first round, second round, that should be it. It doesn't last more than that. If he's going to come in calculated, probably it will last a bit longer, and Israel will just outpoint him on the way to a unanimous decision victory. But if he comes in swinging, trying to just get up everything
Mhm.
at any single instance, I think Israel will just catch him clean, and
And his
that will be
defense
the
is
end.
also very bad. There was a clip where one guy was analyzing. Someone wanted to throw, I think, a kick, and then he was guessing whether it was a head shot or a body shot. And then it turned out to be last minute that he didn't even know what it was. And his hands were all the way low. Yeah, so the person could have easily caught him on the, like a headshot, like what Justin Gagey did to Dustin Poirier in their last fight.
Like you said, if he's that bad at defense and he's also a reckless striker going forward,
Mm-hmm.
it's easy money for Adesanya. There should be no upset. There should be no point in the fight where Israel Adesanya looks off or he looks unbalanced. It should just be an easy victory, depending on how he wants it to go.
But again, this is the UFC. In the UFC, it just takes one mistake. You understand? It takes one mistake. And I think that coming from a background where, of course, we've watched the EPL, football, La Liga, when a team is seemingly, out, or rather, is seemingly is when a match looks like an easy win to a team on paper, that's usually when they lose. That's the day when a Derby County might beat Man City. That's the day when Real Zaragoza will somehow beat Barcelona. So I'm scared if I was to place a bet. The safe bet would be to just take a risk on a Sean Strickland win, knowing that many people are going to be placing their bets on Israel because he's like obvious winner.
You might, but I think Israel has done this for too long to be in that position where he can be caught. Like I when I've seen his last like few fights, excepting the ones where he got beaten. Like
Mhm.
you think okay, this is UFC now. There's always an outside chance for someone to get the lucky punch, the lucky strike. But Israel Adesanya is not the kind of fighter that will give you that kind of chance. Except you are as good as he is. If you are not as good as he is, he's never going to give you the opportunity to get that lucky punch. He's never going to give it to you. Except you are as even when you are as good, he still finds a way. Except in the fights that he lost, and I think it was only one he lost by knockouts to
Alex
Pereira.
Pereira. And another thing is Israel's chin is also very solid because remember, Pereira knocked him out, but that was a referee stoppage. That was not like out cold. The last time he was knocked out cold was 2017. The last time he fought Alex Pereira in his kickboxing glory days. So his chin is also tough. So and Sean Strickland is really not a very powerful puncher if you want to put it within the context of like who has more power and who is more likely to land. And then I don't know. I just many people look forward to the press conference the most because the rest of it, Sean Strickland will make all the noise. He's very witty on the microphone. He will say a lot of stuff. It's almost like having Conor McGregor at a press conference. So he's very witty, very braggadocious, every other thing. But as far as the fight itself, like I said, I know like you said, you're struggling to see a way where he wins. Even I'm also struggling to see how he even. Man, but this is the UFC. If Israel gets complacent, which I don't think he will, because Israel has something to prove in this fight. He talked about Israel's nails being painted and how a guy that paints his nails can never beat me. That's that kind of a thing. So maybe Israel is going in there with something to prove, which I think is good because if you feel like you're going to easily beat someone, that's when you most likely lose.
This is not Israel's first rodeo. All these things, they just say it to sell the fight. We
Yeah.
know these are just words to sell fights. This is not his first time in the ring.
Mhm.
Israel ultimately decide how he wants it to go. If he wants a clean, easy first round beatdown, we will get it. If he wants 5 rounds of unanimous decision, we will get it. So it's ultimately up to Israel. So Strickland, to me, has no say in this fight. He's barely there to just beat the opponent. He doesn't have a
Oh
real.
man, that's
He doesn't have
disrespectful.
a
That's
say
that's
in this fight. He's
disrespectful.
just there
How
to
would you say
just.
if I how how would you
He's
say
just.
how would you say if I
He,
has
he's just there to just let it be like we have an opponent, but we know, you know, and I know that everyone knows that.
and
this
there's no way for him to
there's no
win.
way. Like, come on, come on.
Wow. Well, Sean Strickland, if you happen to watch this video, some people are giving you no chance at all of you have zero you don't even have a hope of winning this match.
Prove me wrong
So
if you
you have
can.
to
Just
prove
prove me
you
wrong.
have to prove him wrong. Again, remember, I said there's a way you might win. You understand? Maybe if you manage to, but the thing again, like I said, man. Even as I'm saying, Sean Strickland might. I'm still struggling to see I'm trying to picture in my mind. Okay, how does it? Is it a leg kick to the head? Is it in a blow that suddenly puts Adesanya on his back? And then he's not that much of a good grappler because against Jan Blakovic, Adesanya lost because Blakovic basically took him to the ground and laid on him as he said. The excuse he gave was that Blakovic just laid on him for how many minutes. So Sean Strickland is there's no aspect of MMA where he's better than Israel Adesanya or even anywhere near as good. But one thing about fights like this is I just hope it's exciting. The press conference is a sure banger. That one, there's you cannot fault it. You understand? But I just hope it's as exciting. The fight turns out as exciting as the press conference would be. Because like I said, Sean Strickland, witty on the microphone, everything in between.
I'll be watching. I'll be watching closely because I don't expect anything much from this fight apart from an easy win. But I'll be watching closely.
Okay, so Israel Adesanya, everyone's money is on you to beat Sean Strickland, and I hope you prove them right too. Sean, just in case you win, know that I was the only person in the world out of 8 billion people to give you a remote chance at winning. Just in case maybe after you win, you have a victory parade. Invite me. Remember, I'm the only one that gave you a chance, at winning. So once again, this is
Stink me now.
Stake Mina and Zed on the boiling ring, and we thank you guys for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. See you next time.